Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Crescent City Cup for round 16 of the tournament. Jackson SMYLIE is in first place in the NWL division at 14-1. Sid MURALI is 11-4, 3 games back. I'm not sure if there's any other 11-4s, but there is no one with more wins than Sid aside from Jackson. As Alec is already astutely done, you can guess blanks until the first blank is drawn. So do that in the chat. I am Morris Greenberg. I am here with Rafi Stern.
Hello, everyone.
So we will see a really interesting matchup here. Sid MURALI is one of the more defensive players I know and has a really interesting style of play. If you look at his game against Jackson over the summer at the Nationals, Sid actually really crushed him. And so maybe Jackson's been playing all of these players who play in a similar style to him, especially people like Josh, he's played so many times, he knows in and out. When you play more of an enigma like Sid, it sometimes throws off the pace you're going at and the good tempo you're setting. So maybe Sid could be the one to finally take a win off Jackson.
And Sid draws an opening rack bingo. Very nice. So
yeah,
off to a great start. He'll probably play beaters pretty quick.
Yeah, he is beaster than Jackson this game already.
And Jackson has 2 U's, 2 N's, 2 O's, and an S. So pretty weak opening draw for Jackson. So Sid is going to get off to a great start here. Will he dethrone the king?
Yes. Do you play beaters here or do you play rebates here with the do you go gutsy? I guess Sid probably wouldn't, but
yeah, I would probably play beaters just to avoid putting a vowel to the double letter, but
prebate is a word, right?
Prebate?
Or am I making that up?
I think you're making that up. Yeah, you're making.
Never mind. Ignore me.
Probate, not prebate.
Probate. Yeah, of course. That's what I was thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jackson has pretty ugly rack here. He might try to play something like noun atop beaters, set up an S hook, but exchange is also quite possible.
Yes.
And if he exchanges, exchanging down to either NS or maybe NOS. I feel like the O is actually not terrible.
Not at
given
all.
What's open.
The O could definitely be good. Yeah.
Oh, and Sid is drawn into Firebox.
Indeed.
And
it plays as a double-double right now, non-bingo, which is still a ton.
Yeah. So Sid could be in the driver's seat here, but Jackson's a great player and could easily come back. See what he does here. He could play on 2, and he has it set up on his rack.
Yeah. If he plays on 2, though, that gives Sid another big X spot.
Yeah. And Crabcat says that Super Leaves prefers NS by 1.9 over NOS, which definitely is true in a normal game scenario. I think with a lot of open tiles, the O might make it slightly better because a leave of ONES or ONTS or ONRS would be an improvement. But statically, NS is better than NOS for sure.
Indeed. So we'll see what he's... So it looks like he's setting up Onus right now. But one reason could be he thinks the S specifically is more dangerous of a tile to keep than...
If he plays Onus... If he plays Onus, the B hook makes Firebox go down.
Wow, that's...
Or even more. Oh my gosh.
He's playing Onus. Let's see if Sid sees Firebox. He has 2 double-double non-bingo Firebox spots now, and Firebox and bonus.
I think Sid is going to exchange 7. His rack isn't good enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat is pointing out this could be a big bonus for Sid. As you may know, in the international scene, what we often call a bingo, they like to call a bonus.
Bonus.
So Sid has Fire Buxo set up on his rack. Let's hope he can change the X and O in that, but it's looking good for him.
Ooh.
That would be funny, though, if Sid plays Fire Buxo and Jackson sees that Sid has Firebox in so many spots.
Oh, he's not playing it with bonus. He missed the hook.
Wait, what? Oh, wow! Did he miss the hook? And he missed the other
Weird.
double spot.
That is pretty odd.
He must have
Weird.
missed bonus.
Wow.
Crazy.
Interesting.
Although this is a super defensive, this could get to be a super defensive game quite soon. If Sid makes a play over beaters or underneath Firebox, it's going to start getting really ugly, this board.
I think he just got so excited that he had a huge double-double, and I wonder if at some point he's going to just all of a sudden realize and have an extreme reaction on camera. He might, but he might not notice until after the game.
Yeah. We
That
will see.
Was
That's
very,
crazy.
very weird.
I mean, how many points different was it, actually? Because the double-double is worth a lot. That would be 7, 10, 11, 19 times. So that would be 76. So it's 76 still. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
How much more was the other Firebox is a lot more open, too. So that actually isn't a big mistake at all. Oh, it's 21 points. The chat's saying 97 for 76. So, yeah, that's large, but Sid likes the close board games a lot. It wouldn't shock me if he could have justified a 21 point difference. I've seen Sid make huge bingo point sacrifices to have the kind of board he wants.
So I think right now Jackson is looking to play just XU and NU, setting up a completely new lane and leaving a great bingo leave. That leave actually hits a lot of tiles. He can draw into Soutane. He can draw into several other bingos with that too. Tenors.
Well, he can draw into Tenuous again.
He could draw into Tenuous, yeah. Just a lot of options here. Newston, Outseen, although that doesn't play. But Tube Nose plays through the B with that draw of an E. Bounties with an I draw. So playing off just the U, he's probably going to bingo maybe 60-70% of the time. And I'm sure that he is calculating that right now and realizing how powerful of a leave he'll have.
Yeah, it would be a nice play. Although he is down 150 to 6 right now. If your opponent is more than 10 times, I mean, that's actually more than 20 times your score. It usually isn't a good sign.
Yeah. Maybe he should just forfeit the game right now and have an extra have fun in New Orleans.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll see.
Drop
so
to
it looks
you.
like he hasn't dropped it yet. He's holding in his hand. Now he's dropping it.
Good play, and I would be very unsurprised if he draws into a bingo right here.
Yeah, and so if you're Sid, do you play something like Booty?
Yeah, probably with 2 E's instead of the IE.
Yeah.
Just because IE is a little bit better of a leave.
Yeah,
So-
well, not only that, if you see Jackson's fishing, you don't want to give him another vowel. Right, EE, that's the same vowel to play through. So, yeah, there does have a bingo through an E there, or doesn't.
Good
Whereas
point.
IE would give him another potential set of 8-letter words that could play through. So Sid elects to go with the 2E version, which is what we both agree on.
Good play.
And so that gives him an even bigger lead. So Jackson, I'm guessing he can bingo this turn, although I haven't looked. Routines, I guess, plays at a minimum.
Yeah, routines is a bit of an air ball, but a bingo is still a bingo. The 50-point bonus really makes a difference. Without the 50-point bonus, playing routines would be only worth 10.
Yes.
Thank you, Alfred Butts, for choosing to make using all your tiles worthwhile. Otherwise, Scrabble would be a pretty lame game. I wonder if one he rule.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Ooh, and it looks like Sid is getting some great letters.
Oh,
See if you can get a triple from this.
Yeah. Great draw. Vermeils is one option.
Yeah, for males is definitely nice.
I don't think he has the triple.
Yeah, I don't see a triple either. I'm looking right now.
Yeah. But a bingo should be coming down regardless. Question is which one. And the chat says that Vermeils and MURALI are the only two.
Wow, I would not have expected that.
The only two bingos through the S, that is. But
yeah, that's still pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, Meyer isn't going to be that much worse parallel to routines, right?
Yeah, Meyer scores over 40. 46, I think. No, 44.
Meyer looks really good there.
Oh,
I might like Meyer.
And the chat is mentioning that there's is there a double through the two T's? Not there is. I misread that. That would be a pretty cool play if there was a double through the T's, but I don't think that there is.
Yeah. It wouldn't shock me if Sid plays Meyer here. Meyer's the kind of play that he could definitely make. It shuts off a lot of bingo lanes. It scores a bunch. It keeps this blank with two good letters.
Yeah, it isn't too much worse than just bingoing. If he ends up not playing MURALI or Vermeils, then play like Meyer is still going to keep him in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Especially with Jackson having drawn 3 A's, an O, and a U.
Yeah. Is there Y for Yukata or something? I'm trying to see what he can do to get rid of those letters.
Yeah. Doesn't have a lot of great options, it looks like. He could play Kata above Firebox.
Well, right. If Sid somehow like phonies or something and Jackson then plays Kata parallel to routines, that's the ultimate dream. But
yeah. He might have some more good for Otaku.
Yeah, that's a nice word. I'm having a live update from Stefan Fatsis, who points out the 50-point bonus was not added by Alfred Butts, but by James Brunel. So that's a bit of Scrabble history right there. Thank you, Stefan Fatsis.
Very cool. So Alfred Butts did his best.
History course. Yeah, Alfred Butts. I mean, one thing I'm always struck by is just how the power tile placements, the power square placements are just so nicely distributed on a Scrabble board. It's really satisfying that it's all symmetric, but they're also kind of laid out in a sneaky way. So Sid does opt to play Vermeils. Let's see if Talarjev or something ending in a V comes up later in the game.
In one game at Nationals in 2018, I had Talarjev minus a J, or minus a V rather, and was down by 80 points on a really close board, and was upset that there were no bingo lanes, and somehow, even though I saw that I had Tolarjev minus a V, did not notice a V as like the only tile to play to, completely whiffed on it, and
Oh my god.
I was not happy, to say the least.
Yeah, I think one person in a game realized the only bingo lane had to end in F, which is not quite as bad as a V, but up there. And so he fished for Sans Serif for 3 or 4 turns and finally got it, but then the opponent blocked on that 4th turn.
Man. Wow, and Sid has drawn another bingo.
Into Citrons. I don't know if it plays, though.
Yeah, doesn't look like it plays right now, but...
in Strict, is that good?
In Strict, I don't think so.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, actually, now about it.
Yeah. What will Jackson do? He's down by 109. Basically, will be very hard to come back here. And it has also been mentioned that this is the first time that Sid has ever been streamed, and so it must be a great feeling to get so many bingos first time on camera. Playing very well.
Yeah, it really is the kind of game that relaxes your nerves at the beginning, which is exactly what Sid wants here. Relax your nerves now. You're up 150-ish. You can just sort of concentrate on your game, not worry about all the noise around you.
Yeah. He can start making dinner plans right now if he wants.
That would be a baller move. In the mid-game, say to other players, hey, win by 150 here. What do you want for dinner? If you did that, that would be a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence.
Ooh, and Alec has just mentioned that crab eaters is a word as a cool extension to beaters. That would be amazing if someone drew and found it.
Yeah, crab eaters. Sid's really close. Sid only needs that A.
Yeah.
Jackson has all the A's, unfortunately. So going back to Jackson's turn right now. So Kata is kind of the play that everyone's been mentioning, but it looks like he has Otaku sort of set up on his rack through the T. This is a tough position.
Ooh.
Jackson's not in great shape.
One thing that's kind of cool about Otaku, if he plays it through the T in routines, is that Otaku does not take an S. If Jackson knows this and Sid doesn't and tries to bingo pluralizing it, Jackson could have a glimmer of hope back into the game.
That is a very good point. Yeah, and in these sorts of situations in general, Jackson is trying to think of what weird ways could I possibly ever win? So this is actually a really good example of it. Jackson opts to play Kata in a spot that we didn't talk about before, probably because that at least opens a portion of the board that was probably never going to get open anyways. If you played Kata directly above Firebox, those 3 first columns all would probably never really be played. Whereas now there's a chance he could get a K bingo, and he's just going to need a bingo in every possible spot on the board at this point.
Yeah. If he draws a Q, that could be decent too. Like a potential EQ play off of the in could work as a way to get back.
Yeah, that's true. So now for Sid's turn. I mean, he could just do something like Trice. That seems pretty reasonable here.
Yeah, Trice is a good play. One thing that's interesting here is while Sid is up by almost 150, he still has a huge benefit of trying to gain spread because I believe he's down by maybe 600 spread on Jackson in his standings. So any spread he gets here will be magnified double because every spread point he gets, Jackson goes down. And looking now at the standings, Sid is 702 spread points behind Jackson. So if he manages to win this game by 351, they're tied in spread.
Yeah.
But
I
even
don't
a
think
win
it'll
by
get to be
200
quite that big.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a very good point, though.
A 200-point win would get him to within striking distance to where tomorrow, if he ends up tying Jackson in record, he can catch up in spread.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Sid adjusts his game style for that, because Sid is a fairly defensive, conservative player, and he likes to close down lanes a lot. So will he know to try to adjust that to just go for huge wins in order to catch back up on spread? It'll be interesting to monitor that. Because
if
with
you
5 games left, that's kind of, you need to start thinking about that sort of stuff.
if you remember before the game, actually I don't think we saw this on camera, but we were told that Sid ran out right after he put his stuff down. It's possible that he was running into the hallway to look at what the spread was because he knew that it would be important to have that in mind coming into this game.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So he has the TRIC set up on his rack. Whether that's going to be Trice through the E in Firebox or Triac through the A in Kata, we will see.
Or Trick to the C to the K in Kata as well.
Oh, to set up his S?
Yeah. Potentially.
So, I guess how many S's are left at this point? Yeah, so it looks like there's 1 S and 1 blank unseen. It wouldn't be that crazy for Sid to go for the S hook if he's really trying to do a lot of spread damage this turn, but I guess he might, if he wants to do that, he might start thinking about how likely it was that Jackson kept the S last turn. And I don't think you can gain much information from that last turn.
Agreed. Kata is the type of play where his leave is most likely weighted toward having another A, but other than that, the other tiles are closer to random than other 4-tile plays might be.
Yeah, actually, he definitely didn't have an S because stake would have come down STAKE kind of stake through ending in E in Firebox. That would score a lot more. So Sid could actually probably deduce that Jackson didn't have an S last turn. So maybe he's considering being really gutsy here.
I think he's going to play Trice. That is my intuition of where he's going to place these tiles. And he's moving them and puts them back on his rack.
Yeah. The chat is pointing out. Yeah, the chat is pointing out intrinsic as a 9 is very close here, and too bad trinsic isn't a word on its own.
And the chat is mentioning that he may have decided not to play Trice because he really doesn't want to open the board. Even though it's a great scoring play and spread is important here, he still has his game style where he really prefers a closed board. So
Triac might be coming down then if that's the case, if he sees it.
Yeah. Triac is the type of play that isn't played very often because it's a 5 using pretty good bingo tiles and it doesn't take any hooks or hook at all.
But he's going to play Trice.
Good play. I agree. And his INS leave could easily draw into a bingo on this wide open board.
Yeah, so does Jackson play Paragua here?
I think he might. One benefit of Paragua is if somehow Sid doesn't play atop that A, a Z draw could hit a 100-point play. And while it's extremely unlikely that spot will stay open, Jackson needs a prayer here. So
Yeah.
Ooh, good draw by Sid.
Yeah, pretty good draw. So Paragua, yeah, that's the play that kind of jumps out right away, but it probably isn't best for Jackson here. So it looks like as Upo set up, maybe that's going to be parallel to the TEE and Booty, or maybe
top
above.
male.
Yeah, top for male. Yeah, that could be an option too.
I think he'll go with Upo, a top for male for 27 points.
Yeah,
Seems pretty. Ooh, now he's thinking of playing Apo, which, I mean, given the score, drawing into some crazy big Q bingo could mean that keeping the U is a little bit better than the A here. Just given that he'd be keeping a duplicate A anyway, the U isn't too horrible to keep.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. When you're down by this much, you need to think, in what ways could I ever come back by around 200 points? And getting a huge Q bingo is a lot easier than getting 2 or 3 bingos.
He could draw into quacking through the K and kata. Oh,
yeah, that's true.
What did he draw?
He
Ooh,
drew an N.
Rigaudin off the R.
Yeah, so we'll see if that stays open this turn.
It looks like Sid is looking to play E now parallel to routines, really shutting down some lanes, which would allow Rigaudin to come down next turn.
That is true. Yeah, is a very nice idea, though. I definitely like that for Sid. You're scoring a bunch, you're keeping good bingo letters, and you're just piling onto the lead.
I approve of the play. So other than the bizarre miss of bonus, Sid has been playing a great game. Every play has been very sharp.
Indeed. One thing to look at now is there are a lot of Ds still out. And with the TE that Sid just created in E now, there could be some fun double-double non-bingos that could come down.
And here comes Rigaudin for Jackson.
205, 310.
Game is not over yet. He's down 105 with a wide open board. And a blank unseen. If he draws the blank here.
That's true. That is true.
Both players are putting their tiles on the rack. Let's see what they get. And Sid draws the blank.
And he has the IST option in the top left corner.
He can play Itchiest for a lot of points. The question is, does he have a triple-triple?
Yeah, that is always the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Itchiest would be a lot of points. And according to the chat, there are no triple-triples, but Inches might be the play he goes with.
Yeah, he might play it safe here and decide to take out the triple threat, leave the blank, take a 140 so point lead, and just take out the worst case scenario. But if he really wants to consider spread, playing Itchiest, giving him a chance to win by 300 is a pretty good option as well. He can really use the spread here.
Yeah, although I'm not sure. I guess, yeah, Itchiest scores so much it probably is net more points for him, but yeah, the Rigaudin spot, that's going to be Jackson's best spot most of the time anyways, so.
But Jackson may elect to leave it open as a last-ditch effort to come back. He might decide that he needs to leave it open, and then if somehow Sid hits a after that, he could win by 400.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's going to be interesting to see how these next few turns play out.
Yeah.
Sid, I mean, one thing that Sid might like about Itchiest is because Jackson played Kata earlier, it doesn't actually give any bingo lanes back. So he might realize Jackson is forced to keep the regatta lane open, which, as Rafi said, would mean that Sid could cash in on the next turn.
Yeah.
Although Jackson could just do something crazy like make a play down from the K and Kata and open up another triple just to create a ton of variance after that point. But we'll see, I guess. Goes through Sid's head here. How many points is Itchiest? I guess that's always something to consider in these sorts of situations. So it looks like it's 12,
98.
13, 14, yeah, 98. Yeah,
putting him up by
having
200.
a 200-point lead is pretty nice.
But he's probably weighing win percentage versus spread here and trying to decide if he really wants to go for the ultimate blow to Jackson's spread or if he just prefers taking the sure win. Because after Inch, there's really almost no way he can lose.
Yeah, although I still think he's keeping IEST. The chances that Jackson blocks that other spot is so small. Oh, okay. This is a nice idea, actually, still. He goes for a lower point bingo, but also blocks that lane.
Kind of the in-between option here.
Yeah. I actually think I like it the least, to be honest, of them. But it's like, we're pulling hairs at that point.
Yeah, he's still up by 200. He's still going to damage Jackson's spread a lot. And he's locking up the game. He can't lose after Nichi's unless something very, very weird happens.
Indeed. So Jackson quickly plays Daw. Seems like the pretty reasonable equity play, although it does shut down that bingo lane Jackson created earlier from New. So just sometimes the cost of needing to get rid of letters and score points. But it could also be that Jackson's kind of thrown in the towel now and just wants to minimize spread loss.
Wow, and Sid may draw another bingo. Great.
Yeah,
draw.
let's see.
Ooh, not quite.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, ear long. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Oh my gosh.
And it plays now with the lane Sid created.
Given that whole... Wow, oh my gosh. This is insane.
Yeah, Sid is. This could be a 300-point win, like Rafi was saying earlier.
And Sid had one of those, like, kind of half smiles, like, just... It feels awkward to win by this much, but I'm also kind of happy at the same time. The type of situation where... I mean, it always feels great to bag someone, but you feel for them, too, because, you know, it doesn't feel good to get bagged yourself.
Yes, and the chat points out, let's hope this game is over Everlong.
Wow. And if anything could give Jackson a lower chance of winning this tournament, that's exactly what needs to happen to make it interesting tomorrow. Sid will be behind by only 2 games and will be nearly even in spread. And whoever else is at 11 wins, if they win, will also catch up in spread quite a bit.
Well, Sid's now picked up less synergistic tiles, but he might still be able to do some damage with them long term.
He has a good play in Roman numerals.
That's true, yeah. Some really good Roman numeral options.
He does have a U open in the Rigaudin spots.
Yeah,
Could
I'm
end up
wondering
playing
if he should keep the Q this turn and
Yeah.
get rid of some of the other letters.
But it looks
He
like
does have
Jackson.
QI available and Trice if he doesn't hit that.
Yeah. It looks like Jackson is thinking of playing Dump through the U and Rigaudin, which would block the Q spot. So if that comes down, then there's no reason for Sid to hold on to the Q, hoping for something better. One option.
I mean, he could do Jive to the E and Booty.
Yeah.
Right, that gets rid of... Getting rid of the J and V is probably better than just getting rid of the Q.
Agreed.
And scores more. Oh, but Jackson goes for the higher point play, which blocks Jive.
So now maybe a play like Viva down to the A and Kata holding the Q could come down, allowing Sid to cash in. And there's a few tiles that he could draw to play there. If he draws the D, he can get Quid, the N or the T, Quin or Quit. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Viva come down. And he's holding the tiles for that right now.
Yeah, so getting rid of 2Vs definitely, I think most of the time is better than getting rid of just the Q. It's important to remember that even though the Q, it sometimes is annoying to be stuck with it, there are definitely options on the board for it, whereas 2Vs is often a lot harder to get rid of both.
Yeah. The Q is the worst tile in the game, but it's a tile that, with the right letters, can be amazing.
Indeed.
And
so he is Quag now.
Yeah. Will Sid get 600
or
points?
Jag
Probably not.
off the G and Earlong?
Oh wow! If he can get Jag and quit back-to-back turns, that's another 100 points or so. He might get 600 if they both stay open.
Yeah, Jag would be a ton of points. We could be witnessing... Oh, but he sees Quag. It's hard to look at the J spot now once you see Quag as an option.
Yeah.
And
the bag...
Though
if he plays Jag, he also empties the bag, and the Q spot will almost certainly be blocked.
Yeah. But he can't do any... No, he should do Jag, because he might notice that Zags is available, too.
Yeah.
So he's going to look at what's available in the bag, look to block Zags, and do that with Jag.
For sure. What a great debut on stream for Sid. This must feel amazing.
Yeah, so... I would be surprised if he... Yeah, he's... Looking at the J now. Yep, he does.
Good play.
63.
Oh my gosh.
551.
Jackson's just smiling. He knows 63 more points, whatever at this point.
Yeah, Jackson's having such a great tournament that this probably isn't going to hurt him too bad emotionally. He'll still go into tomorrow with a 2-game lead on the field. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. So Jackson probably wants to block that spot, but he doesn't want... He wants to be able to score with his Z2. So...
And Sid will be able to play the Q no matter what. He can play QI next to Trice for 21. So Sid is in no danger of being Q stuck. But his best play will almost certainly be blocked.
Yeah, agreed. So what good plays does Jackson have with his Z? He has ads with the A and beaters.
I guess there's a chance that Jackson could try to come up with some cool setup that makes it worthwhile to allow Quit to come down. Because if he can make a big out in 2 and catch Sid with the H and the Y, it's possible it'll be slightly better. But
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. He has a bit of time to think about it.
But does he want to think about it? I think
That is a good point.
I feel like he probably does because he knows that spread matters here. So it's not a situation where if it's the final game of the tournament and you've already lost the game, you just don't care. In this situation, it really does matter how much he loses by because he's playing the person who's right on his tail in the tournament.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right now, he's looking at playing Duns through the U, leaving the outplay of Lazar.
So
the A
one
and
thing the
beaters.
chat's suggesting, which is awesome, thank you, Alec, for suggesting this, is possibly setting up Fazenda through the F, A, and E. Fazendas, for that matter, as a double word score.
But that would make Dodd.
Well, oh, right. But is there some way to set that up?
No, there isn't, but that would still be really cool.
Yeah, so that's too bad. He could do some. Yeah, it feels like there could be a crazy setup here, but I'm not seeing it right away.
Yeah. This is the type of board where Nigel Richards would find something crazy.
Yeah. So one thing the chat's suggesting possibly is I said adds before, starting with the A and beaters. You could just do add AD and set up za and adds the next turn.
Yeah, that would.
Sid
that
can't
would
block
force-
that.
He could play Lathy, Lathy, through the AT in Damp and Booty.
Oh, that's a good point. Yep.
Yeah, that would just be a pretty easy block.
Wait, Lathy? He doesn't
Yeah.
have an L.
Oh, I don't know why I thought he had an L. Weird. Well, he could just play. I mean, he could play like had, or he could play Coddy. He could play Coddy through it. QADI.
Oh, yep. Good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
So it's not unblockable. It just means he can't play quit.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. Looks like Jackson's considering playing ads through the D in Regatta, which would block quit, and while leaves a kind of ugly leave, it still scores pretty well.
Yeah.
Does he have a
would
good
score well.
out in two?
I'm not seeing it if he's going to block Regatta.
Well, he could. I mean, he could play Nazis through the I in Firebucks and Katas, leaving Lard as an out, but looks like he elects to block quit, leaving Lazar.
Yeah, so Sid will probably play Cade here, though, to block Lazar, right?
Well, he can't play Cade anymore because the D didn't come down. So
Oh, right.
yeah, but he can still block.
Yeah, he could play Kot or something.
Yeah. And someone just passed Jackson a note, probably saying, "Dinner at this place at this time. Be there, be square." And Jackson's like, "Hey, I still have an end game to play.
That's true.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it."
Yeah, you play to bring home the bacon, not eat the bacon.
Sorry, 21.
Sorry, go for it.
Unless you don't eat bacon.
Don't distract.
Sid misses Lazar.
A pretty small miss in terms of total spread, but who knows?
It's
It
gonna
could
be
come
like
into play
40
later.
spread difference in net
That was
because
surreal.
Sid won't be able to
Yeah.
Sorry.
use all those high point letters, and Jackson will get those points.
Yeah, shit.
So Sid wins by over 200, though, so that definitely narrows the spread gap.
Which one?
Nice.
He was down by 702 in spread before. Now he'll be down by around 350
Oh, shit.
or 250
with it?
instead.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like double doubles.
Really cuts down on that comeback he has to make.
Yeah, I didn't see
So
the hook.
he'll be 2 games behind, about 250 spread, which, if they're playing each other, is halved because every point you gain, the other person loses. So winning 2 games by a total of 125, if it comes down to it, is extremely doable. So Sid is probably quite happy to be back in this tournament, and
How's it smaller?
the games will be pretty exciting tomorrow. We may see these 2 tomorrow morning.
Indeed.
Oh man.
So I guess, is there anything else we should report
Yeah.
on? This wasn't that exciting of a game in the end, just because Sid, even though he missed the bonus hook, kept scoring and scoring and scoring and did it very well.
This is just
Probably.
like a-
Yeah, not exciting in terms of who won the game, but definitely exciting in terms of what the outlook would be on the entire tournament as a whole.
Oh yeah.
So-
Tim, yeah, just tripped on the wire.
I guess this game went pretty quickly. I don't know if we have the
Yeah, I should get this.
standings ready
Oh.
for the other divisions, but if we can check in on Collins and
Guess what? You have three.
update what the standings are there. Let's take a quick
One
look.
thing to report is Billy Nakamura is crushing it in the light division of NWL. Kate suggested in the chat that she might add his name to the survey just because he's been such a pleasure to watch in that light division.
That's excellent to hear.
So he was 14-1 going into the round with a plus 1478 spread. We'll see if he won this one, but if he's 15-1, that's a pretty impressive performance.
And he's gained over 100 rating points, putting him over 1,400.
Indeed. So for the Collins, in the meantime, it looks like we're still waiting to hear about Dave Koenig's game, but Jason Keller is 12-4. He will be in second place necessarily because Dave has so much more spread than him. But it's a question of if Dave is 12-4 or 13-3 at the end of this round.
And
Benji's in third place.
Yeah, it looks like Jason just played Benji, so Benji drops to 11-5, but we'll still be in the mix.
Yeah, that division looks a bit closer right now, although Jackson's only 2 games up on the field now. It's definitely... Someone could definitely strike tomorrow and be the Dragon Slayer.
And if he has a little bit too much fun out on the town tonight, who knows if he'll be ready to play tomorrow.
Indeed. So, with that, I think we're going to sign off for the night. It's been a pleasure, and tomorrow, I believe, games will start at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You will see some more TWL games to start, or sorry, NWL games, with Matt Kanik and Conrad Bassett-Bouchard. It will be a lot of fun, and then after that, there will be some Collins games for the last 2 games of the day. So, I am Morris Greenberg. Thank you so much for listening to us, and continue streaming on this tournament. It's amazing that there's over 6,000 viewers that have watched this tournament. And, Rafi, would you like to say any parting words?
Thank you all for watching, and play more Scrabble. Come out to New Orleans next time. Maybe I'll be there. And hope you have a good night.